Hello, this is Robert Weinrich. I'm here to show you the Unit 5 mini-games. This is where everyone starts off. They go through the review here, and the first mini-game is right down through this tunnel. So this is the emotions maze, and the premise is that you have a scenario in the middle, such as someone just hit my car, and you have to select which image you think is best suited for that scenario. If you click on the wrong one, it will simply deactivate that image, so you know the answer is this one, you'd be sure. And the next one, I have great friends. You can select this one. And I'm just going to go ahead and jump through the rest here. Alright, so now we're through the maze and we come up here to the problems boards. This is a guided activity where students will be able to type in their answers, where they give specific instances of problems, who the problem was with, where and when they can happen, and then a lot of the more information based on the lessons that they do here on the media board. Um, this is a guided activity, and it has more detailed instructions in the lesson plan itself. So we'll go on to lesson 2 now. And in lesson 2, you have your initial review and lesson plan, and then you come over here, and this one is the is it a problem or is it not a problem type of game. So here you have the situation: someone was making a loud noise, you think it is annoying, and you choose whether you think it is a problem or whether it isn't a problem. Once again, if you click on the wrong answer, it just disappears. But if you click on the correct answer, it flips it over and actually gives you a little bit of a brief explanation of what's happening here. So they go on to each of these cards. There's 10 cards in all, and this is kind of a guided activity as well, where everybody talks it out and chooses whether they think it is or whether it is not a problem. And then to finish off lesson 2, you come over here and you do the end of the lesson review with homework and everything like that. So let's go ahead and move on to lesson 3. Lesson 3, the initial setup here, and then you come over here to what we call the unlock model. This is another guided activity where the OG will lead the group through answering each of these questions on the board. You're going to see this game a lot in this lesson. It's something that's used to reiterate and walk them through specific issues. So the OG will present them a scenario which is displayed in the lesson plan. They'll come over here and start on you, and they'll write the self-control strategy. Maybe it's count to 10, and then they'll move on here to kind of define the problem, list the solutions, the outcomes, choose a solution, one of the solutions, and then keep your options open. So now they can cross the bridge. And onto the final review media board here. The next one is lesson 4. Let's go ahead and jump into that. Just go ahead and open the bridge there. Start off the lesson here with your initial lesson plan, and then move across the bridge to another unlock model. After they complete this unlock model with a different scenario, they move on to this media board, which is a little bit more lesson information, another lecture, and then you come over here and you have what we call the comic strip game. You have one student on each of these lesson carpets, and they're all working on their own kind of worksheet here. They can go ahead and put their name in at the top. Then they need to choose whether the problem happened inside or outside. So we'll do inside. And then whether it happened with just themselves, with just one other person, or with more than 2 people. So we're going to go ahead and do a group of people, and then you define what the type of the problem is, what happened. Let's say we were arguing about which game to play. Who is involved in the problem? We'll say me, uh, Johnny, James, and Samantha. And where and when the problem happened. It happened on game night at my house. And your chosen solution and its outcome. Let's just say we chose a game by flipping a coin. Boom. And so each of the students will fill this out and then share their answers with the OG. And that's the comic strip game there for you. So the last. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's the next lesson. So we'll move on to lesson 5 now. All right, so here we are in lesson 5. Um, lesson 5, you start here with your initial lesson, and then you have another unlock model with a different scenario, a couple more media boards to present some more lesson material, and then you move on to the first part of the quest activity. The quest activity takes part over lessons 5 and 6. So this first part is real simple. It's just kind of the planning phase. You got to read the king's story, which is on this media board here. Talk with your group about the plan of your quest, and then use the planning board to write out your path, and then double check it. So they're all going to come up here and gather real close to this media board and say, please read this letter I just received. The king needs your help. They're going to read through this story, and the story basically drops hints about where the king might have gone and in which order he might have gone to the different places. And also what he lost. That he lost some of his items. So now we move on over here to the planning board, which shows you where each step of the treasure hunt, if you will, goes down. And so the students in the OG will go ahead and talk out a game plan based on this story and decide where they want to go and in what order. So based on the clues in the story, the group should go to the entrance, and then to the stage, and then to the well, tower, treasure room, and finally the kitchen. And those are all, again, based on the clues that you get in here. So, it was, let's see, this early yesterday morning, the king's horse bucked him off while he was on his way into the castle. So, obviously, he's coming to the castle through the entrance. So that's where they would go for the first clue, and then all the other ones have their specific clues. Now, also, for each of the locations, we have one of these clue cards over here. Once you step on the pod, the clue card pops up and gives you a helpful hint on that item. This may not really mean much to them at this time, but once you start seeing the items that they need to pick, it's going to be a little bit more clear. So just stay with us into the next video, and I'll kind of go into a little bit more of these.